Hey, how are you? I I've been thinking a lot lately about my business and my special place in the world. And it occurred to me last week that the why that I thought was my why is actually not the full thing. It's not the full aspect of who I am and what I offer to the world. It's it's part of it, but what occurred to me last week was that it's so much more than that. It's that I have this unique story where my, when my parents and I moved to Florida when I was about 2. And while I was living there with them, I had a a lot of influences from different languages. And so I had a Spanish babysitter. I had a woman in my life who had like this really heavy Southern twang. And then I also had my uncle, my dad's first cousin, was deaf. And he was teaching me sign language. And as he was teaching me sign language, he was teaching it to me with like these sounds that he could make because he couldn't hear. And so when my parents divorced when I was 4 and we moved back to New York, there was a period of where people couldn't quite understand me because I had so many different types of influences. And so the vernacular of my language had all of these different like quirky aspects of them that you can't really quite explain. And I say that because I know all the way through elementary school I had to go to speech lessons, and in order for me to really get to that point to where people could understand me. And so there's this one particular person, my maternal great grandfather. For him it didn't matter. For him, and he was, now that I know that I'm like really tapping into it, I'm realizing that he was actually the very first artist in my life. And he didn't care that I couldn't speak or that I was hard to understand. Not that I couldn't speak. He didn't care that I was really hard to understand, that I had all these influences on my language. And there was this point where my grandparents bought this ice business and they needed a logo way back in the day before, anybody could whip out a logo on the computer. And he designed this logo and he ended up painting it on the side of the ice house. And I was such an integral part of his world at that point that he and I actually painted the logo together. He had me in his arm and I was painting with my side and then he was painting with the other hand. And the amount of unconditional love, of compassion, of empathy, of unbridled acceptance and authenticity that I felt with him in his arms during that period is actually what I offer to the world. It's what my therapeutic art offers to the world. It's what my community engagement offers to the world. It's what my workshops offer to the world and what my classes offer to the world. And even just me as a person, as a friend, as someone who is in, so many different lives. Those are the things that I offer to the world. And it's almost like a silent gift that I provide people. And I know I'm a little bit of a mess. I just got back from working out, and so I'm a little, but it was really strong in my heart and strong in my conviction that I needed to share this with you. And so I just want you to know that. So thank you for listening.